at your leisure.
Hey, you may think that I'm deep in the Sahara Desert in North Africa, but I'm actually here at Sand Hollow Off-Road Resort in Hurricane, Utah. Hey, welcome to At Your Leisure, everybody. I'm Scott Huntsman, and I am down here covering the off-road games. Now, this is the second year for this. Last year, it was just all off-road recovery records. This year's a little bit different. The format has changed. Got 14 non-off-road YouTubers who are driving 14 off-road YouTuber vehicles. And the off-road YouTubers get to spot them through this course. We're on Triple Sammy Trail, and they're competing over the next couple of days here. But hey, look, this is windy here today, so the conditions are pretty treacherous. And these guys are gonna have to work hard at this. Let's take a little closer look at this event, and let's see what these games are about.
This event is awesome. It has blown my mind how big it's gotten in the 2 years. We were here last year for their first year, and then we had to come back. It's a great opportunity to not show up for the local community, but Matt and his platform bring in people from all over the country, all over the world.
Well, I'm interested in off-roading, and I've kind of got an idea of how to do it. You know, I've somewhat experienced for a couple years. So what I really enjoy about it is, you know, seeing how they approach the problem and try to solve it. And, you know, I almost try to learn from them.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that's honestly the coolest part. And then also just seeing them beat up cars, because I don't want to beat up mine. It's like a social gathering. There's plenty of people here. Everybody's so nice. You can go off-roading in the dunes. And even if you do get stuck, everybody here is like nice enough to just approach you like, hey, do you need anything, need any help? It's happened to us a few times.
This is absolutely my favorite event of the year. Because, like I said, we go to a lot of events, a lot of off-roading events. People know you and they know about you, but the people that come out to this event, they want to come out and meet you. They are here to see the people they watch on YouTube, and it's just an awesome experience. It's so much fun meeting all the people, saying hi, letting them see the trucks, all the stuff, crazy things we do. They modified this event from last year. Last year was a wrecker games event. This year is an off-road games event where they team up YouTubers. They have one YouTuber that their channel's not revolving around off-road. Then they take another channel that does off-road and they supply the vehicle, and then the non-off-road YouTuber is gonna drive it through a trail. Like, I love this event. I hope it becomes a thing every year. No matter what, we're all winning because we're having a great time. This is just awesome.
If you're gonna come out, I think it's worth it if you're looking to really get a good idea of what these vehicles can do, what this terrain is like, and just have a really good taste of the family community that this hobby can bring. This is the place to do it.
Hey, you can see this is a pretty cool event going on right here. These guys are running this trail, and the YouTubers are spotting the non-YouTubers, and they're all getting through it pretty darn good. I'm pretty impressed. So while I check more of this out with about 1,000 of my friends right here, you guys check out this story coming up.
The Western United States, a place blessed with rich history, especially here in Utah. The land is covered with evidence of prehistoric life and markers left behind by ancient indigenous peoples. The story of American pioneers looking to settle this massive landscape is also told through items slowly being reclaimed by Mother Nature. There's a place that exists and tells humanity's history in the West in an elegant and beautiful scene just north of Price. And if you don't already know it, it's called 9 Mile Canyon.
Well, first of all, 9 Mile Canyon is classically known as the world's longest art gallery because of the concentration of pre-Columbian rock art.
According to Ed, most of these panels were etched and painted by the Fremont people and possibly date back as old as 500 AD. 40 miles worth of pictographs and petroglyphs stir a multitude of emotions. Amazement, laughter, and curiosity are all felt en masse while viewing these inspiring works. Some residents of the canyon, like Ben Mead, have been lucky enough to admire these creations for their entire lives.
When I was old enough to get away from mom and dad and get on my horse and go, I'd go to 9 Mile and spend my summers. You know, one of them wannabe cowboys. I loved the canyon. I loved to see where the Indians lived, and we spent time hunting arrowheads and whatnot too when we was kids. And then just the rock formations and being out here, I still enjoy.
Ben's unparalleled tenure in the canyon has made him an expert authority on the recent history and locations of historical sites. Because of this, he's a major consultant on the definitive guide to 9 Mile Canyon, written by none other than Ed Helmick himself.
Well, you know, the canyon has become a passion for me, and I enjoy sharing my passion. We worked with a number of old-timers to prepare this book, and they give us a lot of insight into finding things as well as the history.
Included in the guide are mile marker indications which will show you where exactly to look for each site, as well as notes on the historical context of each spot. With so many pieces of the canyon to discover, one could spend a lifetime searching, but if you only have a few days, 9 Mile Ranch can accommodate that.
Ben Mead here at 9 Mile Canyon Ranch has a neat little campground and bread and breakfast and so forth, and he does a good job of touring people around also. So in our book we refer to this as base camp, and it's a good place to start.
Even if you have only a few hours to spend exploring 9 Mile Canyon, one thing is guaranteed. You'll have a blast with everyone you go with.
You can see single little pictographs or, you know, whole panels of them. And they're not all just the same longhorn sheep or some stick figure man. There's all kinds of different pictures, owls, buffaloes. I think it's a beaver, but they say it's an owl. Looks like a beaver.
No matter who you go with, make sure you have Ed's book handy, as it will elevate your experience tenfold. Shoot him an email and get a copy and see exactly what has roused so many people into an obsession with the history lying deep within 9 Mile Canyon. For At Your Leisure and this week's Where To, I'm Nick Chase.
Hey everybody, welcome back to At Your Leisure. Now I'm here at a very windy off-road games, and part of that is also this vendor show going on. These vendors are all here with all kinds of products from all over the country, and this is also a great place where you can interact with all these YouTube teams that are participating here.
Oh yeah, mainly Seth's bike hacks, because we ride BMX and, you know, mountain bike all the time, and seeing that he was gonna show up, it was like, there is no way, this is gonna be the craziest event ever. And then all of a sudden we were going down the list, like the Legal Eagle is here, Project Farm, all these massive YouTubers, and it's like,
It's crazy.
I don't know, it's like the coolest collab I've seen in a while.
I had a great time. I had Robbie Layton behind me, and we had a great time. They kept doing burnouts. So of course I had to rev a little the 392, and they thought that was funny. And you know, I was right behind Matt, you know, got to give him lots of high fives, and we had a great time. It was awesome.
When we started putting this guy together a couple years ago, more as a light duty recovery rig to get on the easier stuffs, go into the national parks, do that stuff. We were gonna come over for this off-road games event, and they were gonna have a wrecker pull, and we weren't gonna bring anything for that. But then I had an idea, and so I decided to buy this from my buddy and put a 671 supercharger on the big block and get a little ridiculous. We didn't put nitrous on it, but we thought about it. We just came over to drag some cars around and just show off in the sand. We threw some ag tires on it just for the heck of it. And like I said, this is just all about the people that came out to see us. We just want to put on a good show and just have some fun.
That's pretty much it, you know. Matt built an off-road wrecker. We started a YouTube channel, and we wanted to build something that was just a little bit bigger. and it kind of morphed into what it is. I wasn't necessarily going for bigger at first. I wanted to replace the front axle with an F550 axle, and I figured, you know what, if I'm gonna replace the F550 axle, I'm gonna wanna run bigger tires, and then I looked and checked Matt's run 54s, so I decided to go to 58. My plan is to make it through the weekend with the motor intact, and then maybe hit it with enough nitrous to blow the top off of it, so I have to build a new engine for it, something with 1,500, 1,600 horsepower. As long as I don't get kicked out of here this year, we'll be back next year.
Hey everybody, welcome back. We are at the record dead pull. Happening right there in the sand. You want to pull something hard? There it is right there. You know, there are literally thousands of people that are visiting this event from all over the country.
Asked to be a speaker jeep for today's event, so they actually put a bunch of speakers on the roof of my rig, and I did the trail with all the contestants so that everyone could hear the commentators from the roof of the jeep. You know, I don't know how it happened, quite honestly. We have really good friends in the industry who did it last year, and they were asked to find people who had rigs and drivers that were skilled enough to be able to handle that trail, and we were asked if we were interested, and it was an honor. I know she's built for it, but I mean, that's a lot of pressure for me, but it was awesome. I had a great time. So it's a really great opportunity for us as a company to get some visual, but it also is just a really fun way to connect with people who are into this hobby or who want to get into this hobby. So many people who watch Matt just love watching him, but they don't know what this hobby's all about. So it's a really great way to just meet new people who are just trying to kind of get more into it.
I watch Matt's Off-Road on YouTube all the time. You know, I'll just sit down for hours. And we went last year and we had, you know, such a good time. I just bought a new truck and I wanted to test it out, you know, out on the dunes, of course. And, you know, thought it was, you know, gonna be fun.
Yeah, and I was just tagging along, so first time.
I'm looking forward to the wrecker pulls. I'm looking forward to watching somebody tip over. It's gotta happen. As long as it's not me, I'm okay with it. A lot of shenanigans. It'd be nice to see a vehicle torn in half, but I doubt that'll actually happen. Another flip would be good. I want to see some carnage. Yes, it's amazing, this small area just cramming the people in. I'm not a huge fan of crowds, but if this keeps going like this, it's going to be something to come to every year.
You know what I think is really cool about this whole event is to see this gathering of YouTube followers who are following all these teams online on YouTube, all converging here in one event. I mean, there are literally thousands of people here. It's absolutely incredible. So while I'm checking out more of this record dead pull, you guys check out this story coming up.
Trail closures are nothing new. Utah may have over 80,000 miles of public trails for OHV use, but that doesn't mean they'll always be there. As motorized recreation continues to grow, the debate between access and human impact rages on. While recreating responsibly is the first step towards keeping trails open, there's more you can do to participate in the conversation.
Blue Ribbon Coalition is a national 501c3 nonprofit, and so we've been fighting since 1987 through advocacy, lobbying, litigation, all of the ways that you can to fight to keep public land open for recreation across the country. For every user group, we're working with snowmobilers, off-roaders, side-by-sides, dirt bikes. We just released our first volume of the Lost Trails Guidebook, and the Lost Trails Guidebook is a collection of 30 trails that we've gone out and inventoried in the state of Utah that we think are at the greatest risk of being closed in a lawsuit we're in with the environmental groups that are trying to close these trails down. And so these trails are in the San Rafael Desert, the San Rafael Swell, and then some areas around Canal. And when we went out and looked at these trails after being part of these lawsuits, the #1 reason that they're closing trails is because we're not using them enough. And if that's the reason we're losing trails, that's an embarrassing and dumb reason to be losing a trail. So we went and found 30 trails that aren't being used enough that we need you to go out and ride. We were supported in this project by the Yamaha Outdoor Access Initiative, and Jorgensen's Power Sports in Richfield, Utah was our lead dealer sponsor to help us produce the guidebook.
We need to be a stronger voice. The recreational groups that's using these trails need to be the voice that speaks up and says, we want these trails open. Instead of just being the silent group riding, we need to be the ones that are riding and being vocal about it. It's okay to go ride, but if we're not standing up for our rights, the majority, the louder voice is going to sway the public, and we just sit back and watch our trails close down.
And the best way to stand up for your rights is to let your voice be heard.
We often will ask people to make comments on BLM plans. Especially with these trails, we want you to tell the BLM that you love these trails, that you have plans to use them again, and that you want them to keep these trails open.
See, my whole philosophy is we need to discover Utah. I don't need to travel outside of Utah to get my recreation. There's so much to see here. There's so much to do here. We're living in one of the greatest states in the country. But it's the matter of getting us, our communities, to recognize where we live and the opportunities that exist where we live.
If you donate to the Blue Ribbon Coalition, you'll receive the guidebook as a free gift. Or if you're in Richfield, Utah, stop by Jorgensen's Power Sports to pick one up. And if you don't think this is an urgent issue, the second trail listed in the book was just closed a few months ago.
It does show you how critically urgent this is, that we go out and use these trails. And we need users who have gotten attached and emotionally connected to these trails because they've used them. Anytime you use these trails, and then we need you to support us and send comments to the BLM telling them you use them. So we want you to ride them, but then we want you to fight for them.
Whatever you can do to support the Blue Ribbon is definitely money well spent, no question. They're fighting the battle for us every day, and we want to support them. They're in lawsuits to protect our riding ability all the time, and we need to support the Blue Ribbon Coalition.
If you go to sharetrails.org, that's our homepage for Blue Ribbon Coalition. We always need more people engaged. If you care about outdoor recreation, if you care about motorized outdoor recreation, we need you to become part of this. We have to become the biggest mobilized force of outdoor recreation users, or they're going to close everything down given the way things are going now. And so we need your support. Sometimes that's making a comment to an agency, sometimes that's helping fund a lawsuit, sometimes that's going out and riding a trail that we need you to ride. I mean, there's always a lot everyone could be doing to be helping, but if you care about this lifestyle, if you care about these experiences, we need you engaged.
Hey everybody, welcome back to At Your Leisure. You know, off-road games are just nothing but a heck of a lot of fun, and I'm really wishing I had my Jeep down here and I had a chance to do this. I would love it. But in the meantime, you guys check out next week's show.
Next week, Rhea and I are joining the folks from Tickaboo as we take you out on a boating adventure to show you all the fun that can be had at Lake Powell. Then we're checking out a unique whitewater rafting park that's in the Boise Greenbelt that allows water sports enthusiasts a great spot to perfect their skills. Finally, we're taking a trip with Mind the Frontline, which is an organization that helps first responders remember it's okay not to be okay, and helps them by getting them on adventures in the great outdoors with like-minded people. Now let's look at our contest winner. This week's contest winner was spotted sporting their AYL sticker around town is a license plate number X286AZ, and it looks like they're the lucky winner of an outdoor stove from Camp Chef. Camp Chef offers the best way to get your cooking done in the outdoors. Visit campchef.com for more information, and congratulations to this week's contest winner. Be sure to call us on Monday at 801-947-8888 to claim your prize. Now let's take a look at our calendar of events. First up, May 24th and 25th at Millard County Fairgrounds is the Delta Classic Rock Crawl, which is the best way to see some extreme rock crawling action up close. Visit deltaclassicrockcrawl.com to stay up to date. Then May 29th through June 1st is the Outlaw ATV Jamboree in Uintah County. Come down to Vernal and spend the extended weekend where the Outlaws once rode and dinosaurs roamed on some amazing guided ATV trails. Visit strideevents.com for more information. And be sure to visit our events page at ayltv.com to stay up to date on all the great jamborees and off-road and outdoor events that'll be happening throughout the year.
Hey, next week's show looks great, everybody. And while we're wandering around the vendor show, who do we run into? Nothing but our good friend Ben Burr and the great folks at UPLA. You know, these guys are the ones who are helping us defend our grounds. Look at these fine young men, look at their t-shirts. Turn around and show them your shirt. Turn around. We're defending our grounds. These guys are fighting for us. Get with your clubs. Get on their websites. Support them. They are our friends, and they're going to work hard to keep these trails open for all of us. So with all of that in mind, we're going to remind you that there is adventure around every single bend, and you've just got to get out and create your own adventure at your leisure. Yeah.